Hey, folks, it's Tuesday night. It's 9:30, and it's time to go behind the hedges. I'm your host, Mitch, and this here is my co-host, Matt. And dude, what is that on your face?
Man, look here, before we get into all that, folks, please, we're going to break this thing down for you. These are tough times. These are weird times. Y'all need to listen to what we're going to tell you. Make sure you subscribe and like first so you can keep getting that good truth that we like to spit out. But I'm here to tell y'all now, we are here to tell y'all the pandemic is real. The pandemic is back. Wear a mask. Stay away. You need to stay about 6 feet away from that virus, which is real. That virus known as the number one ranking in college football. Don't touch
Right.
it. Don't look at it. Don't even think about it or want it. Let them some of them bitches in Alabama catch it and get all they people sick in the head.
Yeah.
Georgia don't need it. Georgia don't want it. And the reason why we having these problems is because we did not keep ourselves safe, distant. We did not mask up. We breathed this shit in, and now here we are. Now do that thing.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
Stay 6 feet away
You know
from
what?
that number one ranking.
Stay 600 feet away from that number one ranking if you're the Georgia Bulldogs. There's been about, I don't know, everybody and their mama talking about Georgia this and Georgia that and what's going on. And I don't want to go down all those dirt roads. I want to say to y'all, dear listeners, Georgia fans, and even some of of our rivals who want to tune in just to get that truth. There's a visceral difference between the Georgia Bulldogs you saw open the season with Oregon, smash Samford, eviscerate South Carolina, and the Georgia Bulldogs that you see now in the last 2 weeks. Mitch, what's the only thing that changed?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Matt. The thing that changed is we suddenly were rewarded and called the best team in the country. And first of all, shout out to Chucky Napier down here. Welcome aboard, my friend from Florida down here. It's called rat poison. Yeah, man. Matt and I have been talking about it all week about the rat poison. I mean, we've heard Saban say this a number of times, right? Rat poison this, rat poison that, and everybody likes to sort of joke and point and laugh and all that kind of stuff at Saban. But the fact of the matter is the man knows what he's talking about because his team has had that number one ranking. They've had a unique situation in that they've had to deal with that rat poison more often than anybody else. Georgia's not. I mean, frankly, we're not used to being ranked number one. We did all right last year with a pretty veteran squad. But one thing we've always said about this team here, this 2022 Georgia team, was talent, yes, but experience, no. Right? These guys don't have that experience. The maturity level, and this is not an insult. It's just these are things you have to learn, right? And these guys haven't learned to carry that number one yet. There's a lot of responsibility that goes with carrying around that number one. And these guys seem to, start believing. What is the phrase? Smelling themselves, smelling their own stink.
That's what my mama used to say.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
you hit it the nail on the head. You can try to spin this and analyze this all you want. Here's the deal. It was said. It was written in stone. Georgia's going to take a few steps back. They're not going to be as good as last year. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. That was the fairy tale coming in. We said, well, hold on. They will take a step back. They won't be as bad as you're saying. And then they came out and they destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa, 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 whoa. And even Georgia fans was like, hold on. What are y'all doing? I mean, this is awesome, but what huh? And it happened 3 weeks in a row. They swapped with Bama, and boom. Now, all of a sudden, like you said, I think it's a lack of maturity and a lack of experience. Reading those headlines, not taking the game seriously, not preparing. We know for a fact, I'm not going to say half, but a lot of the dudes at the Kent State game were sauced coming into that morning.
Yeah.
And got sauced the night after. Hell, Javon Bullard got arrested for DUI. We know that for a fact on back channels. Some of our dudes were, some of the shaky. And I think it just has snowballed from there. They thought they were going to walk on the field and the game was over because we're Georgia and we're number one. And that's just not the case. It also didn't help Saturday that our lovely number 88, Jalen Carter, decided to go and personally antagonize the
Yeah,
Missouri players and almost get like into a fist fight pregame. I
yeah,
don't care how bad they are; they are still a bad team. Well, I don't want to say that. They're playing poorly now. But you piss off enough Division I college athletes and make it personal, some bad shit can happen.
sure.
Jalen Carter's now out for 2 weeks. And folks, let me tell you why. Dirty play, dirty hit, chop block from a Missouri offensive lineman. Don't tell me that that's not related to him going over there and disrespecting those guys on a personal level.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. And it's just one of those unfortunate things. It's just these problems are compounding for Georgia, and you're seeing a big pile of stink.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Chucky, for dropping in. He says it's very difficult to be the top dog in the SEC with a weekly pressure. Everybody's going to give you their A game. I mean, you're right, dude. So let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, I am compelled to report that I had to go to a fundraiser for my job on Saturday evening, and so I told Matt, I'm going to be radio silent. I can't take calls for the first little bit, but this thing's over at 8, so I'm back in the car and I can tune into the game. When I tuned in, the first thing I did was I called Matt, say, hey, where are we at? He said, dude, he goes, Missouri is unbeatable. This is the worst I've ever seen, right? And sure enough, first 5 possessions of the game, Georgia goes punt, fumble, punt, punt, fumble, just like that, And I tuned in at that point. I tuned in to listen to the 6th possession of the game, which we kicked the field goal. Then we kicked another field goal. Then we go to halftime. We come back from halftime. We kick a field goal. We kick another field goal. And then we scored 2 touchdowns, and that was the end of the game, right? So I ain't trying to say that I had anything to do with it, but when I was there, we were scoring points.
So why the hell were you where you weren't supposed to be in the beginning? Would be the question Georgia fans would ask you.
Yeah.
If you're the superstitious type. No, man, I was trying to like sit down and relax and just enjoy a beatdown, but and I wasn't gonna have a drop to drink, but they drove me to it, and I'm still having to shake it off.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's tell the truth. The truth is that Missouri is probably not the most talented team in the world, but there are a handful of things that they can do very well. And number one is they can kick the ball pretty well. They got a pretty good legitimate kicker. Okay, fair enough. They can stack the box pretty well, and so what they did was they came out and said, look, this is what we do. We're going to put everybody up on the line of scrimmage, and we're going to blow Georgia off the line. And what happened? We got blown off the line. Dude, we got blown up for the first, like I said, first 5 possessions of the game.
2.5 quarters.
And that we could do nothing at all. And Kirby even said as much at halftime because they're whipping our butts. They're whipping our butts on the line. And so how does that happen when there's such a disparity in talent level? I mean, the Georgia players are just frankly just better players than the Missouri players.
I want to go back to who's our guest. I thought that was a good comment, but I want to say,
Chucky Napier.
Yeah, Chucky, you're a Gator. Looks like.
Are you a Florida fan, Chucky? Just curious.
I gotta say, Florida strong with blue means. I mean, I'm assuming, but let me say this. Let's just say he is. Play devil's advocate. I mean, them Urban Meyer and Tebow Gators was something else, but Ole Miss came in there and did something. You're gonna have these kind of games, right?
Yeah.
Remember? They came in there and beat them.
Yeah,
they had the "I promise" speech, and then they went on to handle their business. Go back to the 90s, 1997. It was still a pretty talented team under Spurrier, but then old Jim Donnan with Hines Ward went, nah, not today. You have these types of games. Let's talk about Alabama. Don't want to pick on Florida the whole time. Bama's had these games in their heyday. Again, with Ole Miss, with Johnny Manziel. You have that standard of excellence. You're number one, but you're gonna have those bad games. Those bad games do happen.
Yeah.
Luckily, ours have not translated into a loss.
Right. I mean, that is
other teams did. But I'm just saying, 2 weeks in a row got me a little concerned. So let me ask you this: Auburn, Missouri played the week before. Shit show.
Yeah.
Auburn steals a victory. You could probably say those two teams though are even. Would you say that?
I would say that if they played 10 times, they'd probably have a 5-5 record.
So if we go out there and mollywop Auburn, worries alleviated or no?
Well, for the moment, yes. For the moment, yes. In that in the same way that I am concerned for the moment, yes. It's like this. There's a dial, right, and the dial goes up to 10 and down to 0, right. And so I think that what you saw when we played Oregon and South Carolina was when we were dialed up to 10. All right. And I think what you saw when we played these past 2 weeks was when we're dialed down to like a 2 or 3 or 4, something like that, right? So I'm just curious, are we going to bounce between those two extremes for the season, or are we going to find a comfortable spot on the dial and leave it there? And is that comfortable spot a 10 or is it a 2? You know what I mean? What is it?
If it's gonna be hills and valleys. I mean, I got enough blood pressure medicine to pass out. Oh, y'all, I got a script program through my job. You just hit me up, and I got that last April for you. And I'm hoping that's not what happens.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we come out and we slaughter Auburn, get our house in order, and be who we were the first 3 games of the season. And I know Samford was sloppy, but I'm saying, you ain't getting in the end zone. If you do, it's in trash time. The offense is clicking. I think they lost focus and started to believe that they were untouchable. And again, you said we're not used to being number one. Every game is the Super Bowl. Now, if you are who you say you are, you crush them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we who we said we were? Well, maybe preseason. But those first 3 games, I'm just hoping we didn't catch lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you're right. Yeah. I hope we don't look back on this season and say, boy, we sure looked good in those 3 games. I hope that's not what we say. I hope we're able
before too. We wouldn't be the first team to come out look like world beaters, and all of a sudden something goes off the rails. We can't recover, and now we're catching 2 L's and going to some bullshit bowl game. That's happened before.
Right. So we've been trying to find the common thread. Like, why did those 3 games look that way, and why did these last 2 look this way? And the thing that Matt and I both arrived at was like, look, it's that number 1 ranking, right? You put it beside our name. I know when we found out we were ranked number 1, Matt, the first thing he did was text me and say, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm comfortable at 2 and 3 because in today's game, we're gonna make the playoffs. If you're at 2 and 3 and you just handle your business and you win the SEC, or sometimes even if you lose the SEC title game, you can make the playoffs. So I'm not worried about the beauty contest of the AP and the coaches poll. Yeah. I mean, the BC polls is the one that matters. Chucky was right here. Georgia plays that way, the way they did against Missouri, against Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky, any of those teams, and they could lose. And they could lose badly.
If it was exactly that bad, yeah. I don't believe it will be exactly that bad, but I'm also going to say I don't know how great we will look going forward. There is a sour taste in my mouth after these last 2 weeks. I think it would start to make me feel better if we go put our fingers into Auburn's nostrils and drag them some of my bitches all the way back to the plains.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dead. I would love that. And then Vanderbilt, got to crush Vanderbilt. If we turn right back around and now Vanderbilt's got us in the 3rd quarter sweating bullets, I don't want to go through that.
Well, let me just say this. If there's one thing we can take away from the state of Missouri, let it be their show me motto, right? Here I am. I am in show me mode. So Bulldogs, it's time to show me. Are you that A team or are you that C team? And damn sure better not be a D or an F team. All right. I'd be all right with a B or a B plus. All right. But please, let's see it more towards the A than the C. All right. Let's see here.
And we thought we were going to be bored all this month.
Yeah, no kidding here. Chucky says, I think the Missouri game actually helps Georgia refocus and understand they aren't invincible. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope that is what it is. If they don't bring their A game and stay focused, they can get beat and lose games like they should have won. Memories of Mark Rick. Yeah,
Did we ever get an answer from Chucky here if he was a Gator?
I don't guess so. Who's your team, Chucky?
Yeah, put that up. Let's represent your squad.
Hey, it's okay. We ain't mad at you yet. Yeah, you're safe. You're in the company of friends, sir.
I will say
But
this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about the Missouri game because
yeah,
it's not a very pleasant topic. In that second half, specifically midway through the third quarter forward, you could see and feel a difference.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
It
for sure.
manifested, and once it manifested, man, that was Missouri still stacked the box, and Missouri was getting run over and blown off the ball. Now, part of that is they don't have the talent, the depth, and they were tired. But hell, we played teams fresh before and we're crushing them, and a fresh Missouri was crushing us. So I don't want to hear
Yeah,
that, right? I mean, our running backs were now not trying to dance east and west; they were going north and south. And if there was a man in the way, he was getting splattered.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I want to ask you a question, Matt. Much has been made about all the negatives in the game. Did you see anything at all positive in the game?
Yeah, I saw the offensive line, which looked like hot garbage in the beginning, start to assert their will. I
Hmm.
saw the running backs stop trying to. I don't know what they were doing in the first half. I saw them running and seeking contact.
Hmm. Hmm.
The
Hmm.
drop passes stopped.
Yeah, Kenny Smackintosh. Yeah,
It just seemed like they kind of calmed down and they were like, okay, I've had enough of this yellow jacket nest. It's time to pour gasoline down this nest and burn it to death.
yeah. Well,
And that
I'm
didn't
glad that you
start.
pointed out the offensive side of things. I wanted to say a couple things about the defensive side of things. I too saw some positives, and that one of those positives, again, Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks doesn't play in the game. We lose. That dude had
Save the game. Oh yeah, play of the game, no doubt.
he ran that dude down at the 1 yard line, and then we held them out, and they had to kick a field goal there. If they score a touchdown there, it's a totally different game. But this guy's a freshman. Malachi Starks is a freshman, okay, and that kid is showing up and punching the clock every week. All right, one more for you, Pop Johnson. He was a lead tackler on the team. We were looking who was going to replace N'Kobe and Channing Tindall and Quay Walker and all these dudes. And I'm not saying that we have replaced those guys, but there was a big concern about leadership up the middle. And what do we see from Pop Johnson? Kamari Lassiter gets out of line, misses an assignment or whatever, and Pop crawls halfway down his throat on the sideline. And people, made much of that. Oh, look at this. There's some discord. It's not discord. It's not discord. It's holding your teammates accountable. N'Kobe did that to Channing in the national championship game, right? And what happened? Channing snapped his ass too and made a play the next down. All right. So, sorry. Here, I went to click this one. Florida Gator since 1998, watching Emmitt Smith and Kerwin Bell. Salute, mister. Salute, sir. Welcome aboard. Brandon, our one of our resident Vols fans, 1998.
You know what?
Bless
If there's
you.
going to be any orange violence on this show,
Yes.
you keep it into the comment section. You understand? Because I ain't
Yeah.
got time to police y'all tonight.
Yeah,
I want to
for
get it.
real.
But I mean, ain't really much the Gator can say though. Tennessee got over that hump this year.
We were
First
joking
time-
about the
first time in,
Aaron
what,
Judge.
16 years, but that's water under the bridge.
We-
Mitch, does it feel? Hold on, don't talk about Aaron Judge. I don't want to hear that words in a college football setting, and I'm sure all college football fans would agree. Don't say the words Aaron Judge again. That's going to become a meme. Watch. But let me ask you a question. Does it feel like Georgia had 28 first downs, 481 total yards, and 34 minutes and a half of possession?
How many total yards?
481, 300 in the air. Does it feel like that?
It doesn't.
I mean,
It doesn't.
all of that gets erased by 2 turnovers. That's another thing that's very alarming. In the last 2 games, we've had 5 turnovers?
Six. 4 and 2. Yeah.
Okay, that's no good. I don't know where that's coming from. We went from not turning the ball over at all to just becoming a turnover machine.
Yeah, for sure.
So anytime you do that, anybody's got a puncher's chance. You can't be turning that's the only thing we lost really in this game. And don't get it twisted. I mean, I think our defense is still pretty stout, baby. They've only given up 4 touchdowns all year.
Right.
All right. So
Right.
let's make sure we're staying true to the data. The data still suggests we're going to be hard to beat. But y'all keep smoking the hope all you want. I, for one, believe the ship's going to get righted at the expense, and you hate to see it, of the Auburn Tigers.
Say something about that before we do these picks.
What do you want me to say, man?
What are your expectations versus Auburn?
My grocery list is 48 zip, tight ends with 10 targets, 300 plus yards in the air, no interceptions, no fumbles, about another 150, 160 on the ground. Can we not do that against Auburn?
I think we can. My brother went to see Auburn play. He's a Clemson fan, but he went to see an Auburn game earlier this year, and he texted me and he said, "Dude, Auburn is one Tank Bigsby away from being a really good high school football team." And so I feel like that shutting down Tank, shutting down what Auburn is able to do is going to it's going to be an easy task for these very motivated dogs. And I expect to see the violence this week that we were supposed to see last week. And I also expect that the ship gets righted, right? And I just this team, the leadership on this team, the program itself is in a place where the expectations are excellence. The expectations are the standard. And there's no reason for us to be middling a team, messing around with all these plebes. There's no reason for that. And so I expect you will see us go back to where we're supposed to be, having learned our lesson.
I just, it's sour. It stinks. But the reality is, we're not giving up, damn near 600 yards. Although someone is. Someone in the here and now. I wish we had that special effect where it go blue, 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 blue. You know what I mean? Like the old genie wit. Yeah. It's not like we're giving up 600 yards and 31 first down.
We could always flash back.
I think we'll hang 20.
What? I don't know if we have to do that, but
I know so picks tonight are going to be quick. So I do want to say, there's some better games coming up. One of them, I guess now Tennessee's the biggest threat to us in the East, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? I think that's fair to say.
So. Yeah, of course.
Well, you're going to give up 600 yards to AR, whatever he calls himself now. I don't know if y'all want any piece of what Bowers and company going to do to you. Where was Brock Bowers? I think that was a question earlier. He had 5 targets for 63 yards in a stink burger. He was double teamed, I believe, all night long. Now that might be a little blueprint, but I don't know, man. I think the ship gets righted here. There's just too much. We're just dripping with too much talent. That we're bleeding, but the blood's blue, baby. And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, everybody, y'all stick around for a minute. We're going to do picks right after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Behind the Hedges. I'm your host, Mitch, and this is Matt over here. And we're about to do some picks on this show. But first, this news from our sponsors. Braves clinched the East. Hey,
I guess.
I guess. Also, some more news from our sponsors. Barry Orange live stream will air later this week. I remember a fellow talking about getting right against Mizzou. Hey, we'll see you on your show, pal.
Kids saying they were going to go 10-2, but I think reality's about to set in.
Speaking of reality, let's do this.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
We're going to try something new tonight, folks. We're going to be really, really snappy with our picks. We've had these marinating in our brains all day long, and I'm going to throw them up, and we're going to talk. Matt, I want to take this one first. Can I take this one first?
You do whatever you want to do.
First game. We are blessed once again with a noontime game. Tennessee goes to Death Valley in the daytime, and they are a 3-point favorite. Hey, man, listen. If you told me they were playing at night, there's no way I'm picking Tennessee. But even with you telling me they're playing in the daytime, it's hard for me to pick Tennessee. They're not used to the stage just yet. But you know what? I want them to be flawless. I want them to be pristine when they offer themselves to us later in the season. So I am going to take the Volunteers in this one. How about you, sir?
everything you said. I think they're going. I think they're going to have a. It's going to be the same syndrome that we're suffering with reading the headlines. Now they are a lot. They've got a lot more experience. Tennessee's probably a better team right now than LSU, but LSU has righted their ship somewhat. They're in the top 25. They've sort of. They don't look anything. They don't look as inept as they did week one. I believe this is the beginning of the reality check for the Tennessee Volunteers. I'm going to take the Tigers in Death Valley because not that I think Tennessee's bad. I just don't trust them yet. I don't trust you to go down to Baton Rouge and deal with those people yet.
Heard.
Knoxville, no chance for the Tigers. Death Valley, I think the Tigers find a way. I'll take LSU in the points.
Okay, here we go. Up next, Arkansas is going to Mississippi State. A little bit shocked by this line here. Mississippi State's better than a touchdown. Favorite, why don't you take this one first, Matt?
Dude, I mean, Mississippi State, the proof's in the pudding. They're running the ball more. They're playing better defense. They're executing. I'm going to take Mississippi State on this one, man. Arkansas, I know it was you. You broke my heart. And then kiss of death. Sorry, man. I said Suey Pig. Y'all let me down. Mississippi State's on our schedule. I need them to look better. And right now, I think they are better. I'm not saying Arkansas is bad. I'm not saying this won't be tough. I just think Mississippi State will have a little too much for them.
I hear you. And maybe you're right. This might sound weird too, but I think 8 might be a few too many points. I still think Arkansas is good, and I don't think they can get wrong 3 times in a row. I think they're going to get right this week. Even if they don't win, I like them and that 8 points. So I'm gonna take the Pigs here. Let's go. Woo Pig.
Next.
Up next, oh man, here we go. Florida is laying 11 against.
Here's my question: is this at Missouri or is this at the Swamp?
I think it's at Mizzou.
Are you sure?
Look it up real quick.
I know we're supposed to be quick. I don't have it pulled up because neither of these teams are in the top 25, so there's not like a way I can quick click it.
Oof. Oh, you're right. It's at Florida. My
bad. Not sorry.
Here, hey, you know what? We're just going to do this.
Is it at Florida? I think it's at the Swamp.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm taking Mizzou and the points. Mizzou showed me something last week. Florida ain't showed me shit. And the Swamp is no longer the fortress it used to be. So, Tigers and the points.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this. This is going to be the greatest week ever. I think Florida's going to mop them. I think Florida's going to mop the floor with them, dude. I gotta take the Gators. Gators at home, Missouri. They have shot their load, as it were.
Folks, pause. If you want to see some entertaining shit, forget me and Mitch. Don't even watch the show. Just get into the comment section. We got some orange violence coming through here, man. Yeah, baby. I love it when orange people fight. Back to the picks.
Wait a second now. 6-year senior quarterback running a very up-tempo offense that spreads the field and puts pressure on defense with inability to substitute and get depth. Yeah. It's in the Swamp. Oh my gosh.
Listen, man, Missouri's got nothing to lose. It's like a Scud missile going wrong. They're going. Florida don't cover.
Oh, okay. I heard that. Okay, we're getting back to it now. Here it is. I know you want to go second on this one.
If you're scared, say you're scared. Go ahead and say you're scared. I seem to remember a bunch of orange people last week going, I guess maybe they were paying homage to their overlord saying, oh, yeah, Georgia's going to cover in Missouri. So, you remind me of some shit, I'll remind you of some shit, too.
Yeah. I like the dogs really, really big this week. I think you're going to see some angry dogs. I think they're going to smear Auburn really, really badly. I think UGA covers and then some.
Yeah, dogs got this one. Lightning don't strike 3 times. And plus, this is Auburn, man. We talked about how they didn't take Kent State serious. They didn't take Missouri serious. They're going to take Auburn serious. Kirby hates Auburn. It's a personal thing. You watch what I say. 30 ain't enough. Dogs going to get that ass.
Heard. Up next and final pick of this week. Oh, boy. Our friends from TAMU going to go on over to Bama.
Listen, Texas A&M. Some teams you just can't reach. So you have what we've had all season long.
Yeah.
Which is the way they want it. Well, they get it. We don't like it any more than you fans. Bama fitting to roll these bitches up like a joint and do what Jamaicans do to a joint.
Smoke them. Dude, I can't argue. I can't argue. I'm not a TAMU hater. I don't have any particular hatred for the Aggies, but I'm not a believer in Jimbo Fisher, man. I mean, it's archaic what he's trying to do, and it's just they got some talent. They got all great fans, great venue, et cetera, great program, with the exception of the guy at the top, and that's going to put cracks in your program. The longer they hang on to them, I'll never be a believer. So roll Tide. How about that?
And that's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I expect.
It's not all it is, Matt. It's not all it is.
What do you mean?
Hey, you got anything for this?
I do. I do. It's a tough week for the Dogs. There's no way to candy coat it. Shitty play, shitty motivation, shitty focus. You know who else didn't show me nothing lately?
Who that?
Georgia. Georgia ain't show me nothing. Went on the road against an unranked SEC team and struggled mightily as the number one team in the country.
Sure.
Good God's embarrassment. But this is not the first time this has happened. Last year, the number one team in the country went on the road against an SEC team and lost. And that team was your Alabama Crimson Tide.